And this woman has just finished logging more than 15,000 kilometres worth of marathons while struggling with the beginnings of a debilitating illness. We're going to talk to her next. Extraordinary tale.
There's a lot of people at this very early in the morning, and I think that reflects how popular the Little Mermaid is. Look how many here is already to celebrate her birthday. It's fantastic. And it's because the Little Mermaid is an icon for Denmark and Copenhagen, and she is so well known around the world that people are interested in celebrating her birthday.
Rome on fire, and the Colosseum, one of the 7 wonders of the world, alight. But fear not, the flames leaping within this ancient arena are an illusion, an installation designed by 2 Danish-based artists. The blaze is nothing more than video trickery, using some of the biggest projectors in the world.
People say that there's nothing more mythical than fire, but I'd add that there's nothing more mythical than the Colosseum. It represents a moral and ethical message.
Romans on their way home this weekend couldn't quite believe their eyes. But this isn't idle fire. The artists say they wanted to highlight the importance of our cultural heritage.
When we choose a monument or a cultural institution for our project and burn it, the fire is kind of a dialogue with the monument. So the monument has this heavy symbol and content and significance.
It's not the first time the Colosseum's burnt. That was back in 64 AD, during the Great Fire of Rome. But this time, the artists hope the fire will help preserve rather than destroy. Stephanie Holmes, BBC News.
Here's a look at a gathering of trolls in southern Denmark. Not the internet kind of trolls, the mythical figures who once lurked under bridges and forests. The country is celebrating its annual Troll Festival this week, the biggest event of its kind in the world, where people watch performances that put those dark creatures in the spotlight.
For the 11th year, Halloween is being celebrated at an amusement park in Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is reclaiming Halloween for Europe.
Now this year, the Tivoli Amusement Park is decorated with more than 200,000 pumpkins,
2,500 bales of straw, and an array of ghosts, scarecrows, spiders, cats, and other Halloween creatures.
With hundreds of pumpkin decorations and actors dressed as zombies menacing visitors.
Wow. Record number of pumpkins on display and zombies all on the loose there this year. The Tivoli Amusement Park is decorated with more than 20,000 pumpkins, 2,500 bales of straw, and an array of ghosts, scarecrows, spiders, cats, and other Halloween creatures.
Visitors can also play a virtual reality mobile game in which they must capture zombies on the loose at the park.
Tourists who visit compared the Danish experience to their Halloweens back home.
Cool.
Pretty neat.
They know how to do it right in Denmark, huh?
That's right. Looks like it.
A suburb of the Danish city of Copenhagen is taking part in a massive experiment to determine the effectiveness of so-called smart lights. These energy-efficient street lamps could cut carbon emissions. They brighten as pedestrians, cyclists or cars approach, but remain dark when no one's around. Each light can be controlled individually by iPad or phone. The experiment is being carried out by a laboratory called the Danish Outdoor Lighting Lab, or DOL.
From the control room, every lamp has an IP address, so you can monitor the runtime, the efficacy, the lumen output, or the power consumption. And then we do real-time measurements on the lux levels on street level.
Some lights are driven by solar energy and wind power, which further reduces their carbon footprints. Sensors tracking air quality, traffic density, noise, weather conditions and UV radiation will also be tested on site.
We have installed 9 kilometers of streets. We have 280 masts placed here. We have 50 different solutions. We have 10 different management systems, and we have a lot of different sensors and things out in the open area.
Street lighting accounts for up to 1/5 of the city's electrical consumption. Technicians believe the solutions currently being tested could help cut emissions by up to 85%.
People in Denmark's capital of Copenhagen have set a Guinness World Record.
The category, largest chalk painting. Thousands of people took part, drawing flags, writing words, and designs of all colors.
The chalk was free, and when they finished their artwork, it stretched more than 4.5 acres. That is double the previous record held by the United States.
And finally this afternoon, who wouldn't want to spend a night in a castle? And not just any castle, this one in Denmark, the setting for Shakespeare's play Hamlet. An American college student won an Airbnb competition that lets her and a friend spend the night in the King's Tower to celebrate the 400th anniversary of the bard's death. No one, but perhaps a ghost or two, has slept in the castle in more than 200 years.
At 5 begins right now.
Melanie Rio won an Airbnb competition to spend the night in the King's Tower of Kronborg Castle, also known as Hamlet's Castle.
The last time anyone slept in the King's Tower was around 200 years ago.
Copenhagen, Denmark now holds the most bicycle riders compared to any other city in the world. The newest addition to the city's bike paths is an 8-mile-long path along the city's inner harbor.
Around the inner harbor is the busiest stretch of road for bicycles in the world.
Certain stretches of the circle already have the highest number of cyclists in the world, more than 42,000 people every day.
Certain stretches have the harbor circle. More than 42,000 cyclists use them every day. For comparison, the busiest street in Amsterdam usually sees 25,000 riders during a weekday.
The newest addition to the city's bike path is an 8-mile-long path around the city's inner harbor.
The unbroken harbor circle was made possible by the construction of new architectural bicycle bridges.